I thought it went well. I thought we did a lot of good things, and we were able to roll the ones, the twos, the threes, to really get an evaluation of our team from field level. It appeared as though some bright spots and certainly some areas that we need to clean up. We went ones against twos, and we did one last series at the end that ones against ones for 8 plays. But the scrimmage itself predominantly was ones against twos.
What did the ones against ones tell you? One against ones, give you any better barometer than?
Yeah, it did. You were able to see guys really get after it with one another. It was violent, to say the least.
Because I know you said your defensive line has really been bringing it.
Yeah, well, the offensive line responded today
Okay.
when they got that opportunity to compete against them. It probably was more of a stalemate than anything.
Frank, do you know who your number 2 quarterback is at this point in camp?
I don't. I think Dolan's our clear number 1, and everybody else they're bunched up in there.
How did the secondary look today in the scrimmage?
They did some good things. The older guys, as I said earlier, contested deep balls well. That's always you're always anxious to see that, and then to make tackles in open field. I thought again they wrapped up and they made sure tackles and not allow long runs to go. Even once they got to the second level, the backs and then proceeded to the secondary. That those secondary defenders were able to get them to the ground. Mm-hmm. And so what was a 25-yard run did not become an 80-yard run.
Coach, Frank Harris, has he taken any contact? I know you limit the contact on your quarterbacks as a rule, but has he taken any contact now?
He has. He has yesterday or last Saturday in our really controlled scrimmage and the short segments we did, and he did yet again today.
How's he looking now?
He looked good. Yeah, he's doing some good things for us. He's picking up on the offense. He's elusive. When you ask him to do certain things, he really excels at it. And right now, I think it's developing him to be an overall total quarterback, whether it's drop back, sprint out, play action, or whatever you may ask of him.
Coach, how good does your defense have the potential to be? I know you singled out the defensive line earlier this week, but just overall, you seem to be strong in the backfield and the linebacker group. So, is this potentially one of the top defenses in Conference USA, you believe?
I don't know that. I think we'll maximize who we are. I think when you look at our personnel, the players that will go to the field for us will be the very best that we have to offer. And certainly we think they're good enough to compete with any offense that will play this year. They'll have to continue to grow. Although they've made tremendous strides, we still have work to do with those guys. We have not arrived yet. And so I like our chances. I like us, that first unit, and now to continue to develop them, and then even more so the guys that are behind them.
I wanted to ask you also about special teams, specifically in the kicking game. I know in the offseason there were some changes, or you were hoping to bring in some guys to kick. What have you seen from that aspect of the game so far?
Yeah, we have a new kicker that's competing for the job. He kicked well today. And we continue to bring along Daniel and Victor and those guys of that nature. Yanni did not make it to practice today, and it was very evident that from a punting perspective, he's sorely missed when he's not there, because of class obligation final exams. So he was not there to punt for us today, and that drop off gap is way too big right now. It was very clear that he's needed from a punting game perspective. I think from a field goal and kickoff perspective, we have capable guys that are with depth, 2 to 3 of them that can do that job for us.
Is Sackett the best of your young guys on
Yeah,
the front now?
he's the young man I'm speaking of when I say that's competing for the job along with those veteran guys, and he's doing a good job. Yeah, he's making his presence felt.
Frank, when do you get into Houston? When do you start really looking at him hard?
Probably after preseason game number 3, which is after next Saturday. We'll start turning our prep to the University of Houston. But right now, so much to be. Preseason game 1 was so condensed with the minimal plays that we were able to do within that practice setting by rules. And so today was our full scrimmage for us. We'll have it yet again next Saturday, and then the last one will almost be a mock game preview. So we'll have two big ones, and then we will understand who we are. I think before we can turn to Houston, we got to find out who we are. Who are the guys that can go in and make plays for us that we can count on, that understands the system and the technique and the things that we're going to ask them to do. I think by the end of next Saturday, we'll have a clearer picture of what that is, and then we'll start turning our attention to Houston.
Frank, I wanted to ask you about the offensive line. I saw them the other day in pads for the first time, and just as compared to last season, they looked a lot bigger. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we're bigger. We're bigger across the board. We're too deep bigger, especially.
You didn't have that depth last year, right?
No, we didn't. We actually we can put 3 units out there to allow us to go, and so our quantity is greater. We're right at 15, 17 offensive linemen. 13 of them are scholarship players. In an ideal world, you want to make sure you have enough quantity to go throughout the duration of the season at every position group. But there as well, because those bodies are such a premium. It's not like a skill guy where someone can just step in. I mean, they have to be trained. They have to be large in stature and get those reps as well. And so we have more of them. And the ones that we have right now are bigger than they were before. And so we like the progress they're making.
And there's a lot of banter going back and forth on social media between the Houston fan base and the UTSA fan base. Seems like there's a lot of excitement ramping up. Does the staff and the team feel that, or is that just something you guys are tunnel vision? And
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, we kind of, I generally meet with our young coaches about 5:50 every morning, and we do our last walkthrough. We conclude it at 10:15. So there's not much time in between while we're in this camp grind. So I'm kind of oblivious. I felt I was embarrassed last week with the flooding in New Orleans. I didn't even know that was going on. And no, I wasn't aware of them going back and forth. Who's winning, our fans or their fans?
Too close to call at this point, I think.
Also,
Push.
That's about how it's going to be, I hope. Tough one.